So Stuart, when we've been out into communities and we've done our workshops, people naturally always want some practical tips about how to psychologically look after themselves. And you've been sharing some really user-friendly but really helpful ways that we can calm ourselves down and try to nurture our psychological responses. And it would be really helpful if you could share them.
What they're about is getting people away from that initial response, that reaction, to something that is a bit more calmer, a bit more under control, because otherwise you get this vicious cycle. What happens is the mind focuses on threat, it focuses on danger, and it starts to become very inward looking and you can't really see anything. And you might have panic attacks, so you might be thinking, I'm going to die, I might be having a heart attack, I might be going mad. These are all really common things. So the techniques are called grounding techniques. And the idea of being in touch with the ground or sending energy to the ground is where it comes from. And I think a lot of it is about being in touch with the senses. So one of the techniques we talk about is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's an easy way to remember it. So it's 5 things to see. So to look around, what can you see? Can you see 5 things with blue? Can you see 5 things that have got an edge? Can you see 5 different objects, 5 different people? You sort of count out 5 different things to look at and bring your mind to those things. And the 4 can be sounds. 4 things you can hear. It could be the sound of a traffic. It could be the sound of a coffee cup. It could be the sound of music in the background. It could be the sound of your own heart beating quite hard if you're having palpitations. That's 5 and 4. 3 can be 3 things to touch. So it could be a table, it could be your hair, it could be your clothes, it could be a cup, it could be a glass. 2 things to smell. That gets a bit harder, but people carry smelling salts with them in the old-fashioned world. But bringing aromatherapy oils with you, and that can help you bring you out of that emotional state. And then the last thing is taste. 1 thing to taste, and having a mint or a strong, powerful flavour to put in your mouth. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is an easy way to do that. You haven't got to do all 5 and all 4. The point is to get out of that immediate catastrophic sense of thinking that you have into your senses and sensations. The other thing people will do is breathing. Now, people will often have a breathing technique, and it's fantastic when it works, but disastrous when it doesn't. So sometimes people think they've got to take it like that, and that can just send them into a hyperventilation state and get them more and more panicky. Actually, it's breathing from the tummy and a little bit from the chest, but feeling that in and out, slow breathing, that steady breathing. And the other one that is really useful to do that when you're breathing, just generally, is bringing your attention to the contact your feet have with the ground. Yes. That's where the grounding comes in. So just sending your mind or sending your brain or however you understand it to that feeling of the bottom of your feet and the ground underneath, and feeling that sense of contact. And maybe if you're standing, bend your knees so you get a good flow of energy from the top to the bottom. And can be a really, really helpful grounding technique as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that we can do, as you say, that can just really center us, our mind and our body, on just being here in this moment and trying to stop the chattering mind that we all walk around with, that we're all trying to cope with in modern life, that's been particularly wound up, particularly in some communities by the conflict. So I will be trying to remember the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 techniques, and just reminding myself that it is okay just to take a moment and breathe.
Yes.
Gently, just with putting my hands on my body, just to kind of try and ground myself and to come back to the present moment.
And if this is something that is troubling you, on a more regular basis, then making it part of a regular daily habit, partly it's good, it gives you some time out. So when you're just doing that, and it's nice to have a particular corner of a room where you do it, so that that corner of the room reminds you, or have a particular chair that you do it in. Because 2 reasons. 1, it gives you a chance to practice that, so when you do need it, it's ready.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to learn it or make it up on the spot. And secondly, it's a nice, calming, relaxing thing to do. And that will help you just generally lower your adrenaline levels throughout the day.